graders, Miss Diorio here from Citizenship Academy, and we're going to continue with measurement today. Now you will need something to write with, something to write on, because we're going to do a couple different problems before we get into our measurement. So make sure you have stuff. Pause the video, go grab them, and unpause when you're ready. All right, here we go. Today, we're going to, again, be only using one unit of measurement, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick with that when you only have one item to measure with. I'll show you what that means in a second. So, first though, I want to review the say 10 way. Remember, the say 10 way is when you break apart a number into its tens and ones, and you tell me how many tens and then the leftover ones. So, I'm going to give you a number, and you're going to tell me the say 10 way. So, for example, if I say 52, you're going to say 5 tens 2, because there are 5 tens in the number 52 and 2 extra ones. 5 tens 2 is 52. Ready? You don't need to write anything down. Just say it out loud. Here we go. 52 is 5 tens 2. 98. Now there's 9 tens, 8. 9 tens and 98, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, plus 8 extra ones. 9 tens, 8. 100. Be careful. How many tens are in 100? 10 tens. There are no extra ones. Okay? 10 tens is how we say 100. Keep that in your brain. You're going to need that as we move forward. Here we go. 113. Think about how many tens and how many ones. Remember, there's 10 tens in 100. How many tens are in 113? 11 tens. I'll show you why. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. That's 11 tens. 111, 112, 113. So it's 11 tens, 3. You can kind of see that in this number. You know where the ones place. You know the ones place is right here on your 3, right? So then the other numbers right here, that's going to be your tens. And there are 11 tens, 3 extra ones. All right, keep that in mind as we move forward. 103. Say that say 10 way. So it's going to be 10 tens 3, because we know 100 is 10 tens, and then we have our 3 extra ones. So we have 100, 101, 2, 3. 10 tens 3. All right, try this one. Think about it the same way as 113. Try 123. How many tens? It's going to be 12 tens 3. Good. So we know 10 tens is 100. 120 is 10 tens, 121, 122, 123. Good. 127. Break that down. How many tens? Good. Same as 123. 12 tens, 7. Try 137. Follow that pattern we've been working with. 137. How would you say it the say 10 way? Good. 13 tens 7. 127 was 12 tens 7. 137 is 13 tens 7. Very good. 132. Use what you know to help with what you don't know. 13 tens 2. Good. 142. 110, 120, 130, 140. So I have 14 tens 2. Count it out. 14 tens, 100, 110, 111, 112, 113. That's 14 added onto my other 10. 10 plus 4, 14, and 2 tens. 2 ones. 200. Think about how we did 100. 200. How many tens? 20 tens. Very, very good. It's a little tricky, so thank you for working hard and bearing with me. All right. Now, this is where you're going to need your paper, pencil, whatever you have. We are going to change problems to make that 10 to add. So, for example, if we have 9 plus 2, I want us to change that to make it to say 10 plus 1. And I will show you how you can do that on your paper. So if we have 9 plus 2, how many more do we need to get to 10 from the 9? 1, right? So we're going to break apart our 2, where one part is 1. And then we have here our 10, and then what do we have left over? Our 1. So 9 plus 2 equals 10 plus 1. Remember, we can have two equations on either side with an equals in between as long as they equal the same amount. So let's do another one together, and then I want you to try them on your own. Okay, 9 plus 5. So again, how many do I need to get from 9 to 10? 1. Good. So I'm going to break apart my 5. One of my parts is going to be 1. What's the other part going to be? 4. Good. 9 plus 1 is 10. And then our leftovers plus 4. So we have 9 plus 5 equals 10 plus 4. Awesome. All right. Pause the video. Try this one on your own. 9 plus 7. Ready? 9 plus 7. How many do we need to get from 9 to 10? 1. Good. What's our other part? Awesome. We add 9 and 1. Boop, boop. What's that leftover number? Add it in. 9 plus 7 equals 10 plus 6, which equals 16. Both parts of that equation equal 16. Excellent job. All right, we're going to skip that one. I want to get to there we go. 8 plus 3. Try that. Pause and try it on your own. Unpause when you're ready. Ready? Okay. 8 plus 3. Different number we're starting with. When we're starting with 8, how many more do we need to get to 10? 2. Very good. So let's break apart that 3 into 2 and 1. So 8 and 2 is 10. And then what do we have to what left do we have to add in? 1. So 8 plus 3 equals 10 plus 1, which equals 11. Both of those sides equal 11. So we're making equations equal. We're just flip-flopping the numbers a little bit. All right, try this one on your own. Pause it and try it. Ready? Okay, 8 plus 5. We want to get the 8 to 10, so how many do we need? 2. Very good. And then we need another 3 to make 5. 8 and 2 equal 10, plus our leftovers, 3. So 8 plus 5 equals 10 plus 3, which equals 13. Excellent job. All right, try this one with the 7. Pause and make 7 plus 4 to the next 10. All right, let's do it together. Here we go. 7 plus 4. How many does 7 need to get to 10? 3. Very good. So that's going to be the first part of the number bond. And then what's our other part? 1. Awesome. 7 plus 3 is 10. We got that. Plus our 1 extra equals 7 plus 4. So 7 plus 4 equals 10 plus 1, which equals 11. They both equal 11. That's why we can put the equal sign in between. 7 plus 6. Pause and try that one on your own. Ready? Okay. So again, we're going to break apart the 6 to get the 7 to 10. How many do we need to get 7 to add up to 10? 3. Awesome. And what's the other part of our number bond? 3. Good. Now we know 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus what's our leftovers? 3. So 10 plus 3 equals 7 plus 6, which equals 13. Both 7 plus 6 and 10 plus 3 equals 13. That's why we can put the equal sign in. Good. All right, let's do our word problem for today. I'll read it to you, and then we're going to take it step by step. With one push, Brian's toy car traveled 40 centimeters across the rug. When pushed across a hardwood floor, it traveled 95 centimeters. How many more centimeters did the cart travel on the hardwood floor than across the rug? Now, before we start writing numbers down, I want us to figure out whether we are adding or subtracting. Talk with somebody at home, pause the video, talk with somebody at home about why we're either going to add or why we're going to subtract. Okay, ready? So, in my brain, I'm thinking if I add 40 and 95, I'm coming up with a total. I'm coming up with how far the car traveled all together. Is that what the question's asking? No, right? It's asking how many more. When I hear those words, how many more, I'm wanting to figure out how much more, how much farther one car traveled than the other. Meaning I don't want to add them together, but I want to subtract. So I'm going to subtract my bigger number from my smaller number because the hardwood, it traveled a lot farther on the hardwood floor, right? So I'm going to start with 95 subtracting 40. And I'm going to set up my problem. Now, to make this easier, I'm going to decompose. And I'm going to turn my 95 into 90 and 5. 9 tens, 5 ones. Now, I can subtract like units. These are both numbers of 10. So I can do 90 minus 40. What's 90 minus 40? Think about what 9 tens minus 4 tens is, or what 9 minus 4 is. It'd be 50, right? And then our next step is just to add in our extra ones that we left over. And we get our answer of 55. Awesome. So, the car traveled 55 more centimeters on the hardwood than on the rug. All right, now remember, we're going to get into measurement again. When we measure cubes, when we measure with anything, cubes, paper clips, whatever it is, the measurements have to be right next to each other. There can be no overlap. Now, because we don't have cubes, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you a little trick. On this piece of paper, I taped an eraser to it. Now, I want to measure the eraser. Do you remember what I told you yesterday, what we could use as a centimeter, a length of a centimeter, when we don't have a centimeter cube? Our pinkies, right? Our pinkies are about the size of a centimeter. So I'm going to use my pinky to show you how I can measure with one object. So here is my eraser. I'm going to start at my endpoint, and I'm going to line up my pinky finger at the endpoint. Now I'm just going to put this down so I can do it on here. I'm going to take my pencil or pen, and I'm going to put a little mark as to where my pinky ends. You see that? Little mark as to where my pinky ends. Now that length right there, from endpoint to where my first mark is 1 centimeter. From there, I'm going to take my pinky again and see where I put that mark right there. I'm going to put my pinky and I'm going to line up my pinky right on that mark. And then I'm going to make a second mark. Now there are 2 centimeters. So I'm going to keep going forward. I'm going to put my pinky as close as I can to that mark that I made, and then put another mark on the other side of my pinky and keep going across. That way, I'm not overlapping, and I'm measuring centimeters with only one object, one pinky. You can do this with cubes. You can do this with paper clips. You put it at the end point, make a mark, and then pick it up and move it, and you line it up exactly on the next mark. That means there's no overlaps, there's no gaps. You line it up as best as you can. And then, without even a centimeter cube, and with one pinky, I've measured 1, 2, 3, 4. This eraser is about 4 centimeters long. Now remember, we use the word about when it's not exact, and using my pinky as a measurement is not really exact, but that's okay. I used a new tool, used my pen, did the best I could to have no overlaps and no gaps, and measured it as 4 centimeters. It's a cool little trick you can try. Okay. So as you can see, they measured a paperclip. Now again, the